Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Latino Conservative on this Sunday evening. That's right, we're getting the week started off the way we need to get started off. And first off, I'd like to say, hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in Florida who recently was affected by the hurricane. But let's get into it. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and hit that smash that like button, that subscribe button. You know what to do. All of those buttons that help grow this channel. And like I said, if you're on my Facebook stream, you know that changing it up a little bit. I've been doing recorded videos of YouTube for a while, and I've been away for a little bit, doing some rebuilding of some equipment. I do this totally free. I don't charge for this, but I would like to start raising some funds. Do all of that. I don't get paid to do this, but if you would like to figure out how you can help support the channel, go to the latinoconservative.com and figure out how you can be a supporter of the channel. You can do one of a couple things. There is a link there that says support, or you can go click on that Chime link there. If you don't have Chime, you can be basically what I use Chime for. I'll put it this way: it is an online banking account for me. Not only that, it's a credit builder account as well. They offer basically a secure credit card that you secure with your direct deposit and your credit limit. And we all know that credit reporting loves a higher credit limit, but your credit limit is dictated by how much your direct deposit is. Go to latinoconservative.com. That is the latinoconservative.com. Look at the top. There's a green banner says Chime, and we can both get $100. Otherwise, you can hit the support. There's other ways you can support the show. You can go to the Anchor, and you can become a member that way as well. So let's get right into this. I know we don't have a lot of people on right now, but nonetheless, the work has to be done. And while I am waiting for a couple of people to join on, what I'm also going to do is jump on to my Facebook page. If you're not following me on the Latino Conservative Facebook page, please go in and do so. But I'm going in on my Facebook page to share this link. Please share this link with people out there. Let them know that we are out and about, that we're spreading the good news. Okay, so first off, what's going on in Russia and Ukraine? It's been in the news. We've all heard about it. And we know some not so great stuff is going on there. Here recently, what happened over the weekend, we had Vladimir Putin, the dictator of Russia, go out and illegally annex parts of Ukraine, which, by the way, Ukraine had already retaken over. Now, these are occupied territories of the Ukraine, and I don't have the exact list right off. But what this gives him the capability of doing since then is he's going to have the capability of now utilizing nuclear weapons or declaring war on anyone that wants to defend Ukraine or those spots of the Ukraine. In fact, Vladimir Putin specifically said that the United States set the precedence of nuclear weapons in World War II. So that tells me that he is not above using nuclear weapons. We all know this already. He's out there, like, whoa, he's way out there. What is he thinking? I don't think he knows what he's thinking anymore because he's about as bad as Joe Biden. A little tougher, though, but I'm just going to let that one sit with you for a second. Either way, there's a potential for some bad stuff to happen over there. Not only that, but there's also the recent sabotage of the Nord Stream pipeline in 3 spots. Not just 1, not 2, but 3. We don't know who sabotaged those, even though Joe Biden said in a statement back around February that he could put an end to the Nord Stream pipeline. So here's another thing. Here's my thoughts on that. I don't think Russia did it. I really don't think that he did it. Because what the Nord Stream pipeline could do, specifically Germany, it would make them dependent on Russian oil or gas in the winter coming up. We know Germany gets cold. It's not like over here in Texas where it's kind of cold, kind of not. Sometimes every now and then we get a little cold, little freeze, little snow. No, it is cold every year. And they rely on natural gas for heating, for survival. But with the destruction of that, now they have no choice but to look other places than Russia. Because with the pipeline intact, if Russia wanted to, they could very well say, hey, Germany, you have to support us in this effort against Ukraine, or we're going to shut off your gas. By that time, Germany would have been dependent on Russian gas. But now, since they're forced to look elsewhere right before the winter starts, now we can force them to say, hey, Germany, you've got to support Ukraine in this effort. See, not only that, Ukraine has already started fast tracking their application to join NATO, which could, I don't know all the legalities of it, but it could instantly, like that, start off Article 5. Basically, what Article 5 is you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. And I don't know if it would completely say that if they're already in a conflict, do we go and back them up, or if it's just those that, conflicts that happen afterwards. But I do know that the potentiality of there being a big, huge war, World War III. In fact, if that happens, if they get fast tracked into NATO, I believe that we're going to be instantly thrown into World War III. But if that's happening, we've got some trouble, which is why I personally, I've got a local pawn shop here in Alvin, Big Bucks Pawn. They do great things. They have lots of rifles, lots of guns, lots of ammunition. And this isn't a paid sponsorship for them. I just love them. I had a gun there, a rifle on layaway there for some time because I do like layaway. Like I said, I do this for free. I don't make money off of this. So I don't have the funds to just go and buy one full off, but I went and paid off my layaway and got me that rifle and got me a couple boxes of ammo while I was at it, because you never know. You never know. Pardon the train out there, guys. Like I said, this is a new setup. This is live. I'm not recording, so I'm not going to be able to edit out that train sound. I live about a mile away from the train. So big things are happening in Russia. Huge. Could be a world changer. In fact, it already is a world changing event that's going on right now in Ukraine and Russia. Not to mention that Vladimir Putin has initiated a draft. Don't know the exact count. The exact count is up for debate right now, but he's initiated an actual draft, which a lot of men are starting to go towards other countries right now. Now, what I think needs to happen in this case, I can't dictate what other countries do, but I think other countries need to open up their borders for these people. Because right now, I believe they can only go through Georgia unabated. But you've got other countries there. And I don't know if it's that they just don't want to get involved, not my monkey, not my circus type thing. But I think those trying to flee Russia need a little help. I mean, heck, they're already sending millions of migrants over here through our borders. Why not y'all pitch in a little bit to take some of the workload off of us? Is anybody joining on here? No, I have nobody joining yet, but like I said, this is going to stay there. This is going to be live, and this is also going to stay recorded as well. So be sure to check it out. You can play this at any time. Let's see who's watching here. Hey, thanks for joining. I got one person on right now, but like I said, this is live. First time I've done live, not recorded. But let's go on to the next story. Beto O'Rourke versus Governor Greg Abbott for Texas governor. Yeah, did y'all catch that debate there? Yeah. It was pretty lackluster. Now, here's the thing. I went to a couple Democrat conventions just so I can see what it's like. Because, know thy enemy type thing. Not to say that they're my enemies or anything like that, but in politics or in strategy in general, you want to know what you're up against. And for those of y'all who know me, know my past, I did run for Congress. I lost the primaries, but I'm not going to say that I'm not going to run again. I'm not going to say that I am going to run again. But in case I do, I want to hear how these guys talk. So I went to a couple of Democrat conventions just to see who's up there, what they talk like, what they sound like. And I heard one of the candidates out there talk a lot like Beto O'Rourke. This guy is a candidate for Congressional District 27 in Texas. Maclovio Perez is his name. He's running against Congressman Michael Cloud, who I lost to in the primaries. But either way, they both had similar talking points and both could not answer questions. I went in there and I played nice. I will say that. The convention was small. There was maybe 10, 15 people there. And I asked a question. The question was something along the lines, I don't remember exactly, was as being someone who travels the country, because I do, I see division all across the country on political lines, from one city to another city, from one state to another state. How do you, as a Democratic representative, plan to unify both party lines, those who align with both party lines? And he said nothing to that effect, nothing to answer the question. He went to talking about First Amendment rights in the media, which, by the way, he wants to reduce our First Amendment rights and wants to reduce the First Amendment rights of those broadcasting, kind of like me, you know. He wants to say, hey, on this guy, we're going to put a big old banner on his ad that says opinion. But CNN, he specifically said CNN was good. And CNN didn't need one. Well, according to the JTPA, just so you know, Mr. Congressman, you're a lawmaker. You're trying to be a lawmaker. A broadcast channel has to be 25% news or more to be considered news. So technically, I am news as well, because I talk about what is happening and then I give my opinion on that. Beto O'Rourke was asked a question about gun control. And the moderator played a clip after your question. The question is, you have been heard talking about gun control. You said one thing and you said another thing later on, basically. You said you wanted to take away AR-15s. Now you're saying you don't want gun control. And he said, well, which is it? Do you want gun control or do you not want gun control? And he didn't answer the question. He didn't answer the question straight up. In fact, the clip that he played was basically Beto O'Rourke when he was running for president, which was his second failed campaign in a row after he'd already won numerous before that. But the quote that he said, hell yeah, we'll take away your AR-15s. And when he was proposed with the question, do you want gun control? Do you not want gun control, Mr. Beto O'Rourke? Guess what? He could not answer that question. He did not answer that question. He went totally to the left side on that and started trying to say this, that, the other, trying to go around the question. He did that several times. Just like he was heard saying that the border is secure. Then all of a sudden in his next statement, he's trying to blame Governor Abbott again, saying, well, since Operation Lone Star happened, encounters at the border have gone up. Well, you know what? I hope they've gone up. That means that Operation Lone Star is doing its job. It's catching these people, not just letting them go away, do willy-nilly whatever they want to do. It's kind of crazy. So next topic on the line. Oh, by the way, before I get into the next topic, I will say this. Everybody knows I'm Republican. I am obviously voting for Governor Abbott. I've been out campaigning for Governor Abbott. People need to actually make sure they go out and vote, because the feeling that I get is the same feeling that happened to me when I was campaigning. I don't know how many people in my hometown. Now, my district covered about 150,000 people, 250,000 people. And of that, in my town alone, there was at least 10,000 voters. I know quite a few people. Now, mind you, there was 5 of us running total in the primaries, but in my city alone, I had at least 1,000 people tell me that they're going to go out and vote for me. At least. Bare minimum, it was at least 1,000 through text messages, through email, Facebook conversations, phone conversations, or just one-on-one friends passing along. Had at least 1,000. and I ended up with 88. And I know it's sad. I ended up with more votes outside of my hometown than I had in my hometown. You know, the people that I know, that I love, that I grew up with, was part of the community for a long time, active. But only 88 people voted for me in my hometown. It's kind of disappointing. But either way, what I'm trying to say is don't sit back and let it happen. We have to actually go out and vote. That is our civic duty. If you can't get off work that day, guess what? There's early voting that usually includes a weekend day, and it goes on for at least a couple weeks. There's mail-in voting. There's many ways to vote out there legally. Go out and vote legally. Do what you got to do to make sure that our values are secured and that we don't end up like California. You know, California, the state that is banning gas vehicles, and now they just banned or are banning gas heaters, but they can't keep their power grid on. Go figure. I'll take another drink to that, you know. So next on the list. 2 Republican traitors exposed. Ooh. Lindsay Graham and Trey Gowdy. So this one is on Analyzing America. Conservatives have supported Lindsey Graham and Trey Gowdy for a long time, but everything is changing now. A viral video is exposing both senators for turning on President Donald Trump and stabbing him on the back. Watch. And it shows a video on there, and I'll read on some more. Both Graham and Gowdy notoriously supported the FBI's witch hunt for info into the Trump campaign. The FBI applied for a warrant based on phony information to spy on Trump's campaign. Excuse me. So here's the thing with that. Did they comply with them? Did they make the false accusations? Did they just, work with them? Who knows? We don't know at this time. But I brought up that story specifically because one thing that I get asked a lot as a conservative, as a Latino conservative, is, do you support Trump? Now, you've got Lindsey Graham and Trey Gowdy over here that did or didn't. I don't know. I can't tell. I don't know what their thoughts were. Were they just abiding by the law when they agreed to work with the FBI for the raids? But my point is, you don't have to be a Trump supporter to be a Republican. Now, granted, Donald Trump, he's basically the face of the Republican Party right now. And I did some work with Latinos for Trump. I did some door knocking and some wave flying and everything. Okay, fine. I'm a Trump supporter. But I can't say 100% that if he were to run against DeSantis that I would vote for him. I am a Republican first, and then I am a candidate supporter of whoever the candidate is at that point in time. For example, again, back to my own campaign. I was a Republican. I supported me. I supported my campaign. I did not support the incumbent because that would be counterintuitive. Again, mind you, there's 5 of us. So there was me, AJ Louderback, Chris Mapp. I don't like the guy at all. In fact, he is the one Republican guy that I would vote Democrat for. I don't like the guy. He's a guy that said wetbacks should be shot on sight. I would vote Democrat before I voted for Chris Mapp. And there was Eric Meade Ellis. So total of 5 of us, me and the incumbent county. I would have supported any other Republican candidate that made it if I didn't make it, or if Mr. Cloud didn't make it, with exception of Chris Mapp, over the Democratic person. Doesn't mean that I was their biggest fan at all by any means. Just means that I am a Republican. So let's say Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and Ron DeSantis ran. Well, let's throw Governor Abbott in there too in the mix, just to mix it up a little bit. You got 2 governors, a senator, and a former president. If they ran in the primaries, I would not vote for Governor Abbott. I wouldn't. Then you've got Ted Cruz, you've got Ron DeSantis, and you've got Donald Trump. Well, Ted Cruz, I like the guy. I really do. So I couldn't say it. I really couldn't decide. It'd be a tough choice for me to decide Ted Cruz, Ron DeSantis, or Donald Trump. Now, I don't think Ted Cruz might run. He's up for re-election for Senate. So who knows what he's going to do? I don't know. Donald Trump, we don't know. We don't know what kind of curveball he's going to throw. He may just say, hey, I'm going to be an activist. He may give his endorsement to whatever candidate he wants. Ron DeSantis, though, he would have my vote probably before any other candidate in the primaries. But remember, I said I would not vote for Governor Abbott in the primaries. So let's say some strange string of events happens and Governor Abbott wins the primaries. Then you have on the Democratic ticket, you have Joe Biden, which I don't even know if he's going to make it to his re-election year. You got Joe Biden. You've got, what's his name? Gavin Newsom. And let's throw, who else could be? Let's throw Hillary Clinton in there again since she likes to run. Out of all of those, Mr. Newsom runs. So you got Newsom versus Abbott. Well, first of all, I would really hate to see the Republicans' chance of that because I don't think Governor Abbott would stand a chance against Newsom, specifically, strictly for political campaigning reasons. I don't think Governor Abbott has the oomph in him to win that campaign unless he's got tons of money behind him, which he would, presumably. But I didn't vote for Governor Abbott in the primaries, but I sure as hell would vote for him in the generals. It's kind of how that works. So like I said, even though you've got two people here that are working with the FBI, because quite honestly, you kind of got to work with them. They can throw a subpoena on you real quick, and who knows what other stuff that they can do to you, for you, whatnot. But just because you got 2 people that are working with the FBI does not mean that they are against Donald Trump or that they are not Republicans. So I can just see it right now. Everybody's going to start throwing the word around, rhino, rhino, rhino. I hate that term. With the exception of Liz Cheney. At the end of the day, I'm sure I'm as tired as everyone else here of hearing about January 6th, investigation after investigation of Donald Trump, rhinos. I wish at the end of the day, we can take every single politician there out. If you've been there for more than 4 years, you're no longer a politician. Let's start all over. Even those of you that are in office right now, less than 4 years, you've got to run all over again. All over again. Start a brand new campaign. All over again. Let's reset our government. Let's get people in there that represent the people. If you're a politician right now and you want to run for a different office, great. If you're a senator, you've been a senator for 2 terms, which would be how many years? 12 years now or 8 years or something like that? I forget right off the top of my head. But you're in there and you're out because of this. You can run for president if you want. You can run for the U.S. House if you want, but you're not a senator anymore. And then let's put term limits on these guys. Not only term limits on them for them themselves, but their staffers. The ones that actually draw up the paperwork where the real power is, and the lobbyists. Let's make lobbying jobs illegal so we don't have corporations with billions of dollars out there funding politicians. You want to see how a politician votes? Follow the money. Hey guys, thanks again for listening to me. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching this recorded, go to the latinoconservative.com. Follow me on TikTok, tx.latino.conservative. Go to the latinoconservative.com, figure out how you can help out the show, or just look at my past episodes. Y'all have a great week. God bless.